I have recently lost 60 pounds following a whole food plant-based diet, but that was not always the case as I struggled with my weight all my life. So today's video will be perfect for you if you're following the STARCH solution or an oil-free whole food plant-based diet and just can't seem to figure out why the weight is not budging. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Stasia, and like you just heard, I have recently lost 60 pounds following a whole food plant-based diet. Actually, I should say an oil-free whole food plant-based diet to clarify. And for those of you following the STARCH solution, then you know that that is basically the same lifestyle. Actually, it was because of Dr. McDougall and the STARCH solution program that I stumbled upon this way of eating. I've always been vegetarian my whole life. I was raised that way since a baby, but I had never heard of an oil-free whole food plant-based diet until coming across the STARCH solution. But generally speaking, I still follow the same general principles of the STARCH solution with just a few different variations in the details. But being part of the STARCH solution weight loss community for so many years, I know that there are some drastic differences in the results that people see following this lifestyle. And one of the burning questions is always, how much should I be eating? What exactly should I be eating? So today's video is one that I was super excited to put together for you guys, because we're really gonna dive into exactly what's considered a portion size, and if you're a numbers person, roughly how many calories are attached to that portion. Because even though in this lifestyle you don't have to count calories, there's a lot of you out there that prefer to count calories. And really, in my opinion, calorie counting has just got a really bad reputation, but all in all, it's just another weight loss tool if you prefer to use it. So this video is going to be perfect for both camps. If you don't like counting calories, it's going to be great to kind of have a general idea of how much you should be eating and roughly how many calories are in those portions, as well as if you are a numbers person and you like counting calories and you really want to be able to pay attention to, how many calories you're consuming in a meal, then I got both sides covered. All right, but before we jump into this video, if you are in need of some more oil-free, whole food plant-based recipes that have no overt fats included in the recipes at all, that means we're leaving out any oil, nuts, seeds, avocados, even tofu, any of those higher fat plant-based foods. I eliminated all of them during my active weight loss phase and ended up losing 60 pounds as a result. Even within the first 8 weeks, the first 20 pounds just fell off of me by making this one simple change. And then I ended up writing down all the recipes that I was eating the most and put them together in this book called Zero Overt Fats. And it's so different than any of my other weight loss recipe ebooks because these recipes include zero overt fats, just like the title states. So while there's lots of vegan recipes out there and vegan cookbooks, this one is a little bit special in its own way, just for the fact that if you are following a low-fat, whole food plant-based lifestyle and you really kind of want to get into that active fat burning mode and kind of really reduce your fat intake, then these recipes are going to be perfect. They worked for me, so I'm super confident in saying that I believe they will work for you as well. And right now, I am running an amazing sale on this book. It is on sale right now for only $5 for the next 48 hours only. And considering the original price is $17.99, I would say that's a really crazy deal. But again, this is just a flash sale. I can't keep the price that low forever. So if you are in need of some more oil-free, whole food, plant-based recipes for both health and weight loss, then I would grab a copy while it's on sale for only $5. And to add to that, for the first 3 people that go down and click the link in my description box below, then you will get a copy of that book for free. So if you're interested in the sale or grabbing a free copy, once again, the link can be found in the description box below. So good luck. Okay, so let's get into it. So since losing the 60 pounds, I would say that one of the biggest questions I'm constantly asked is, how much were you eating? Because this is something that I do talk lightly about on my channel, that, I did have to tweak some of my portions, and I realized that I couldn't just eat as much as I want because that method just did not work for me. I guess I took it too literal and, literally ate as much as I wanted to. But even when we're eating healthy, we still have to be mindful of our calorie intake because our body only needs so much in a day. And if you go over that, then you're going to either gain weight or you're going to end up just staying the same. But in order to actually lose the weight, we need to be eating just a little less than what the body requires to get us into that calorie deficit to actually start to lose the fat. So as soon as all of that kind of started to make sense to me, I had to reevaluate my meals, how much I was eating, and to be mindful that while I wasn't counting calories, that calories do exist. But aside from my shakes, I really didn't keep track of my portion sizes of my food. And to be honest, it would kind of vary from day to day anyways, as do our needs. But with that being said, because it's such a burning question that a lot of you want to know, I'm constantly looking for ways to make this lifestyle easier to understand, especially if you're new to this lifestyle. And even for folks like me that have been in this lifestyle for quite some time, it's amazing how sometimes you can just hear someone else explain something and a light bulb goes off like that. So that's always my mission and my goal, to try to, explain this way of eating and help people to understand that while we're eating this way for both health and weight loss, that when you're focusing just on the weight loss aspect of it alone, there are some things that need to be understood. So here's the good stuff. So this past weekend, I was browsing Dr. John McDougall's website. Then I ended up stumbling onto some of Jeff Novick's articles. And if you don't know who Jeff Novick is, he was actually Dr. McDougall's registered dietitian for the McDougall program. And he wrote a ton of articles for Dr. McDougall's site. So he just has so many gems in those articles. And the one that I found actually dates back to 1999, but it's still just as good and golden in 2024. When I found this article, I'm telling you, like, all the bells and whistles started going off for me, that I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make a video on this to share this with all of you, because you're really gonna love it. Again, if you're a numbers person, and even if you're not a numbers person, this is going to give you guys a really good idea in terms of what a portion should look like and what exactly that portion means in terms of calories. So it's not a very big article, but I'm gonna highlight just some of the key points that Jeff Novick points out when it comes to how much food we should be eating and what a typical day would look like in terms of trying to lose weight. So for those of you who want to check out this article when this video is done, I will have it linked in my description box below, so you can go click it there and see it for yourself. But for now, I'm gonna flip my camera onto my laptop. It's probably not gonna be the best quality, because whenever you film a laptop, it just doesn't come through the same. But I'm sure it won't be too bad, so let's do this. Okay guys, so here's the article. It is Jeff Novick, Common Sense Approach to Sound Nutrition. Like I mentioned, he wrote this back in 1999, which was a hot minute ago. But basically here he just explains calorie density, which again, if you follow this lifestyle, then you pretty much probably have a good understanding of what that is at this point. And again, for those of you who might be new, I will leave this linked in my description box below, so you can go down there and read this in more detail. So I just kind of want to skip ahead to the main parts for this video. But here is what I want to land on, and this one I find the most interesting of all. So here he's went ahead and given a 2,000 calorie old school sample meal plan. Now again, these are just approximate values of each food, but this is the part that I really wanted to show you guys. So this will be helpful for anyone who's interested in roughly how many calories they're consuming with each portion size. So in this example, he's using a portion of 2 cups of intact whole grains. So we're gonna say 2 cups of rice here would approximately be 320 calories, along with 1 cup of fresh fruit is 120 calories. And of course, we jumped over in Google right now and put in a specific fruit or specific whole grain, you might get, a slight variation from this number. But again, we're not trying to be too particular. We just kind of want an average amount to kind of work with in our head. And then here I wanted to point out the nuts. So for only 1 ounce of nuts, it adds a whopping 175 calories to that meal. So I want you to just keep that in mind as we continue on with this sample day. So then for lunch, we've got a starchy vegetable, which is 1 cup for 160 calories, as well as 1 cup of whole grains for about 160 calories, half a cup of legumes for about 110 calories, and then here 3 cups of salad or soup or steamed veggies, all for roughly about 150 calories. And I like that because again, it's just a general average amount of calories that you can kind of keep in your mind if you were to have either of those 3 things. And then again, half a cup of fruit is only 60 calories. So you can really see when it's kind of worked out like that, and you can actually see the caloric amount on these foods, how low the veggies and fruit are. And that's why we should be eating more of them when we are trying to lose weight. And then moving down to dinner, he's saying roughly about 2 cups would be a good portion of any starchy vegetable for roughly around 320 calories, as well as a half a cup of legumes. So again, that's beans or lentils for around 110 calories. Once again, you can choose 3 cups of salad, soup, or steamed veggies for only 150 calories, which is quite a bit of food if you think about it. And then half a cup of fruit for 60 calories. And once again, he's adding nuts and seeds, about an ounce of them, for 175 calories. So here is a sum of the entire sample day of eating, and he breaks it down into roughly how many calories for the entire day, which ends up totaling 2,070 calories. Now, for some of us, that might be a little too much. For some of you, that might be exactly where you need to be. But I wanted to point out something. So again, the 2 servings of nuts and seeds for that day was 350 calories. And let me tell you, 2 ounces of nuts is really not that much nuts. So to add on a whole 350 calories, that's enough to just put you over, because if you take that off, you're down into the 1700s worth of calories. You see the big difference? So this is why this worked for me, to cut out those higher fat plant-based foods, because I could have easily had 2 servings of nuts and seeds eating a beautiful salad. If I had had 3 cups of salad as my dinner, and then 3 cups of salad with my lunch as well, and I topped it off with a dressing made with those 2 servings of nuts and seeds each time, you can see now that I would be at 2,070 calories for the day, or roughly, hypothetically speaking. But if we just remove that, then it makes a huge difference. And now I would have finished the day off being somewhere in the 1,700 calories. Sorry, I just can't use my brain to do the exact calculation, but it's somewhere in there. Okay, so I'm back, and it would have been 1,720 calories just by removing those 2 small servings of nuts and seeds. And that sample meal plan didn't even include, avocado, for example. If we had topped, our salad with some avocado, or just had some avocado toast or something like that, you can see just how quickly those calories add up with very, very small amounts of higher fat plant-based foods. And like I always stress, it's not that we're demonizing these higher fat plant-based foods, because nutritionally speaking, they're fantastic for our health. But when you are hyper-focused on weight loss specifically, then we do need to be mindful of them, because they will really pack on the calories, and that's exactly what we don't want when we're trying to lose weight. So I really encourage you guys to check out this article. I personally found it super helpful, just to give an idea of what, a certain portion should look like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and roughly how many calories are in those portions. So if you're following the STARCH solution, or an oil-free, whole food, plant-based lifestyle, and you find yourself really struggling to get that weight to budge, then you might want to look at this article a little deeper and start to pay attention to roughly what your portion sizes are, even if it's just a temporary thing, to start kind of measuring 1 cup or 2 cups of those grains, or half a cup of fruit, or whatever it is, just to see if that can get the scale to move. And then of course, I'm going to recommend scaling back on those higher fat plant-based foods to just eliminate those extra calories, because you're really not even getting that much food for the amount of calories that it costs. All right, everyone, I hope you found some value in today's video. If you did, if you don't mind giving me a big thumbs up for this. I personally found this article to be super helpful. I find that I'm a little bit of a visual person, so to be able to even visualize roughly a cup of food, and knowing roughly what that cup of food costs me in terms of calories, all of that is super helpful and easy enough. It's a little bit different than calorie tracking per se, and weighing out every single little thing. This is just kind of a quicker way to have a rough idea about how many calories you're consuming. So if you're also on a health and weight loss journey and you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you stick around. So be sure to hit the subscribe button on your way out. And again, don't forget about that awesome book sale. It will only be on for the next 48 hours. Only $5 for my Zero Overt Fats cookbook. Link is in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we will see you in the next one.